Emma loved waking up in the morning to the smell of Daniel's coffee. At first, Daniel seemed to be the perfect husband. He added color to Emma's life with the surprises he planned for her birthdays, the unexpected little gifts, and the loving words he spoke at every opportunity. But things had changed in the last few months. Daniel coming home late, always carrying his phone with him and once trying to hide it by saying, "I accidentally left it at work," had started to make Emma uneasy. One evening, as Daniel stepped into the shower, the phone left on the table vibrated. Emma involuntarily scrolled to the screen. The message, "Do you love me?" landed like a punch in her stomach. For a moment, she thought the message might have been sent to the wrong person. But in the background of the phone, she saw a photo of a woman Daniel had never mentioned before. Emma's hands trembled, curiosity mixed with fear. This time, she really felt that something was wrong. Emma had noticed that Daniel's behavior had changed. Once cheerful and interested, he was now taciturn and distant. He came home late in the evenings, cut conversations short, and his eyes always seemed to be avoiding something. One evening at the dinner table, unable to bear the silence, he said, "Daniel, what is happening to me? Why have you changed so much?" she asked. "Just work stress," Daniel said, a little too quickly. But Emma had noticed the restlessness in his eyes. Emma had noticed that Daniel's behavior had changed. Once cheerful and interested, he was now taciturn and distant. He came home late in the evenings, cut conversations short, and his eyes always seemed to be avoiding something. One evening at the dinner table, unable to bear the silence, he said, "Daniel, what is happening to me? Why have you changed so much?" she asked. "Just work stress," Daniel said, a little too quickly. But Emma had noticed the restlessness in his eyes. Emma gave in to the gnawing doubt after what she saw on Daniel's phone. However, she knew a direct confrontation would not work. Instead, she decided on a quiet plan. One morning, after Daniel left for work, she started rummaging through his computer at home. He found encrypted files in a mysterious email account. He didn't manage to open it, but the subject lines in the inbox were creepy enough. "We need to talk," and "The stakes are too high." Emma realized that these secrets were much deeper than she had thought. That night, Daniel's behavior became even more tense. At dinner, his hands shook and he avoided eye contact. Emma gathered her courage for a moment and said, "Daniel, there's something you're not telling me. What's making you so uneasy?" she asked. "Don't be silly, we're busy at work, that's all," Daniel said, frowning. But he couldn't hide the tremor in his voice. Emma sensed that Daniel was not just having an affair, he was in on a much darker secret. Now she was determined to dig deeper to find out the truth. Emma kept following the clues she saw on Daniel's phone and found on his computer. When Daniel left the house late one night for a business meeting, Emma seized the opportunity. She found a box in Daniel's closet, out of sight. When she opened it, she found several old photographs, fake ID cards, and a pistol. In the photos, Daniel appeared intimate with another woman. The woman's face looked familiar, but he couldn't place her. The fake IDs only increased Emma's fear. It was clear there was a dark side to Daniel's life. That night, Emma began to investigate the woman, following a clue she found in the box. After much effort, she finally learned the woman's name: Sarah. Sarah was someone from Daniel's past and still lived in the city. Emma felt that this woman knew Daniel's secret. But as she tried to reach Sarah, she was unsure what to do if she realized that Daniel was closing in on her. With every step, she felt herself being drawn into greater danger. Emma summoned all her courage and decided to find Sarah. Somehow she got her phone number and got in touch. At first, Sarah didn't want to talk and even considered hanging up. However, Emma's sincere tone and her words, "I don't want you to get hurt, I just want to know about Daniel," convinced Sarah. The two agreed to meet in a quiet and safe place. During the meeting, Sarah revealed her past with Daniel to Emma. She explained that Daniel had once been obsessively devoted to her, but they broke up when things got out of control. Sarah talked about Daniel's threatening behavior and the shady dealings he had been involved in the past. "You don't know who that man is," Sarah said, her eyes filled with fear. Emma was horrified by what she had heard. But the information not only piqued her curiosity, but also strengthened her conviction that she needed to run away from Daniel. While Emma was trying to decide what to do after what she heard from Sarah, She was unaware that Daniel had noticed her. When she and Sarah met, they didn't realize that Daniel was watching them from a distance. Back at home, Emma once again thought about what Sarah had said, but this time she was not only scared, she was angry. "I don't deserve this," she muttered. She knew she had to do something, but she didn't know where to turn. Just then, a message came through on his phone. It was from Daniel. "I know what's going on, and if you get close to Sarah one more time, you will pay for it," it said. Emma's insides froze. This threat confirmed what Sarah had said. Daniel was not only a danger, but someone who had shown how far he could go. Emma realized that at this point there was no choice but to go to the police. But this decision meant that everything would change irrevocably. When Daniel found out that Emma and Sarah had gone to the police, his anger knew no bounds. Now he felt cornered, completely out of control, desperate not to lose everything. In the middle of the night, he snuck into Sarah's house. He approached her room while she was asleep and killed her with a silenced pistol without waking her. His cold-bloodedness was reminiscent of other crimes he had committed in the past. He acted without mercy, without remorse. Emma was next. Daniel easily followed Emma and cornered her in an empty parking lot. "I trusted you," he shouted, a frantic look on his face. Emma backed away in fear, but there was nowhere to run. Daniel killed her in cold blood and quickly left the scene. The next morning, the police found the lifeless bodies of both Sarah and Emma. This horrific event further darkened Daniel's criminal past and hastened his inevitable end. The authorities on his trail were determined to bring him to justice this time.